Boy, I tell you what, I wish I was a gambler last night. Now, when I'm right about something, I regret that I don't bet. When I'm wrong, it never occurs to me, boy, you lucky bastard, it's good that you don't bet. It's only when I was right. And we were both right last night, Charean, about the under. I'm surprised they scored 24 total points.
Oh, I am too, Mike. I can't believe it. Like, I thought when the Patriots went up 8-0 against the Wind, I said, hey, that might be all the scoring that we have. And then Bills went down and it was 8-7. And I thought that might be all the scoring that we have. It was amazing they scored that many points. It was a fun game, though, I thought, to watch when you have a 15-yard punt and a kick that goes into the first row of the stands and everything else that we saw. That ball was really moving.
Most interesting kicking conditions since the night in late November or early December. I think it was early December 2007. Mike Tirico on the call. The Dolphins-Steelers game at Heinz Field where the punt hit and did not bounce. That's how bad the field was. Final score of that game between the Dolphins and the Steelers, 3-0. And I thought, and it was early in the game, but after a few drives per team, I'm thinking it's going to be 0-0. And then off went Damian Harris, and that changed everything, but still, only 24 total points. Now, Bill Belichick on with WEEI earlier today talking about how this game may affect the rematch that is coming up the day after Christmas against Buffalo in New England. Let's have a listen to Coach Belichick.
Yeah, we were talking about that last night. We can use our whole passing game. All the pass plays that we have, they haven't seen, so we can use all of them next time we play them. That game plan's already been made.
And you know, there is some merit to that. Now, their game plan, look, their passing game, it's on film, but to the extent that this will be quarter number 5 of an 8-quarter, 2-game series between the two teams, the Bills directly will have seen none of the Patriots passing game, assuming that we don't have similar weather conditions in Foxborough on the 26th of December. That game is just 19 days away, or 18 days. I think it's 18 days. No, it's 19 days away. So that should be a fun one. The 3 pass attempts, it's still amazing. The fewest by a team in a win since 1974 when the Bills did it. And I really did enjoy it. And I didn't see many people complaining about it because we all recognize it's a rarity and it's driven by the conditions, and just enjoy it when it happens because it's kind of fun to have something different than what you expected.
Well, and I made the mistake of picking the Bills, and I said yesterday when I picked the Bills, the Patriots have the better running game, and it still amazes me that the Bills haven't fixed their running game considering the conditions that they play in. They're going to play games like that in Buffalo. It's inevitable unless they get a dome, as Josh Allen proposed to the owners, the Paculas, yesterday. They're going to play in those conditions, so they needed to have a better running game. So it made sense, the game plan, and it made sense of how the Patriots won that game. So, yeah, no complaints. But, Mike, have you ever seen – it's been a really long time. I can't remember the last time I have seen Bill Belichick this giddy over a victory. I mean, he is absolutely giddy. He started the press conference today by saying, they asked him how he was doing. He said, I'm a little run down, but good. I mean, he's using the puns and everything, had a big smile on his face after that game. It's been I can't remember the last time I've seen him this giddy over a win.
When he had the Navy face mask on last night, which should have been the clue that they were going to be running and running and running and running. And look, he deserves to be feeling good about what's going on because his plan post-Brady is working. Last year it didn't work. Yeah. They didn't have the personnel. This year, the pandemic really helped them from the standpoint of creating a salary cap pinch for so many teams. They were one of the few that could go out and spend. Spend they did. They identified guys that they thought would help them. Those guys have helped them, like a Matthew Judon. They drafted well. Mac Jones fell into their lap. So many things have gone their way, and it is working. After a 1-3 start that became 2-4, they have now won 7 in a row, and they are giving up on average 10 points in each game that they've won in this streak, and that is impressive. You know, you mentioned the Bills, and Sims and I were talking about this today. This is the team that's supposed to be built to play in the elements, but it's the Colts and the Patriots and the Titans and other teams in the AFC that they're going to have to – it's almost like the Bills should not want to have the 1 seed now. They shouldn't want to have home games in January because chances are you're going to get weather conditions that you may not be able to operate in unless, Charean, and this is going to lead into our next soundbite, but why not just acknowledge the fact, as they eventually did, they got a quarterback who may be able to operate the passing game in winds that are gusting up to 50 miles an hour? Because on those last 2 drives, he did.
Oh, he absolutely did, Mike. He's got such a strong arm. What I was disappointed in, and I mentioned this yesterday, I expected to see Josh Allen run the football, and he didn't do that. And when he did do it, he was very successful doing that, but he didn't do that enough. He was their best running back because they don't have good running backs. Zach Moss is their best running back right now. And Zach Moss is not a number 1 running back. He's not a franchise guy that you want to play in those conditions. So 6 carries for 39 yards for Josh Allen. He should have had much more than that. Should have been closer to that 100-yard mark. And I think the Bills would have scored more than they did in the red zone. They were abysmal in the red zone. 1 for 4, 1 touchdown and 4 red zone opportunities. And they had another one where they fumbled at the New England 29-yard line. Didn't take advantage of those opportunities, Mike, that they had. And I didn't like their game plan at all.
And that leads directly into a comment made by head coach Sean McDermott regarding the performance of offensive coordinator Brian Daboll. Let's have a listen to Sean McDermott.
Let's not give more credit than we need to give credit to Bill Belichick in this one. It was, whether it's Bill or anybody else, they beat us, right? But you sit here and you tell me when we start with the average starting field position of the 40-yard line and he starts with the 23-yard line, and I'm rounding up in both cases, and we were 1 for 4 in the red zone and they were 0 for 1 in the red zone, you give me that ahead of time, so I like my chances. So it's not, I don't think, with all due respect, it's not a Bill Belichick type thing. It's what are you doing with the opportunities you got? We turned the ball over at the plus 30-some yard line. Sloppy football. So I'm very comfortable in that situation.
Struggles like this, fingers want to be pointed. There's been frustration at times during the struggles with Brian Daboll. Is he doing a good enough job to set this offense up to have success?
Well, I didn't think, honestly, we took advantage of opportunities tonight. I really didn't. I mean, the ball's at the 40-yard line. You know, we're 1 for 4 in the red zone. So we got to figure that part of it out.
Now, that part was very ominous because anytime you are asked, how is somebody performing in their job, and the answer is anything other than yes, the answer is no, Charean. And if I'm Brian Daboll, I'm starting to maybe feel a little bit like Joe Brady must have been feeling in the days preceding the news that he was out in Carolina. And for a guy to go from head coaching candidate to on notice, that comment, I think, puts Brian Daboll and everyone else on notice because that's a softball. That's a piñata, and you're standing there with a stick and no blindfold when they say, is your offense coordinator performing at a level that the team can be successful? And he says anything other than yes. That's a problem.
Well, let's go back to 2017, Mike. It's very similar comments to what he made about Rick Dennison. And guess what happened to Rick Dennison after the season was over? Bye-bye. So it absolutely puts Brian Daboll on notice that you better get this thing going and get it going quickly, or we're going to have a new offensive coordinator next season. But there just seems to be a disconnect there between head coach and offensive coordinator. It sounds like, from what Sean McDermott has said repeatedly, time after time after time this season, that he wants to win the line of scrimmage. He wants the power rushing games. They're not set up to do that. They don't have the offensive line and the running backs to do that. If you wanted that, you should have built your team around that, and they didn't do that. Their best weapon is Josh Allen and their receivers. So he's doing what he can do with the weapons that he has on that team. So I don't blame him at all. Get him better running backs and a better offensive line if that's what you want to do.
And, you know, the clip that we played before that where Sean McDermott was saying don't give Bill Belichick too much credit, and, you know, we had the ball on our 40 on average, and they had the ball on the 23. Well, that, as Sim said today, that's all the more reason to give Belichick credit. Belichick overcame a tougher set of circumstances, and it was Belichick's team that handed the Bills 7 points with the ball that grazed the face mask of N'Keal Harry. So I was surprised that McDermott said what he did, and yeah, maybe, exactly. I was surprised McDermott said what he did, and I don't know that that's the wisest thing to do when you're getting ready to play this team in 19 days. I think he gave into his frustration, but Belichick's gonna be ready for him when December 26 rolls around, after hearing him refuse to give Belichick the praise he deserved after putting together the game plan that won last night.
Absolutely the dumbest possible thing that Sean McDermott could have done. He should have gone in there and praised Bill Belichick to kingdom come. It was the greatest coaching effort of all time. Set him up. The rat poison, right, that Nick Saban talked about last week. Give him the rat poison. Don't give him that. That is going up on the bulletin board, and I guarantee you Bill Belichick is going to use that when he comes out in 2 weeks and plays them again. I don't like the Bills' chances in New England anyway, but I certainly don't like them now with Sean McDermott saying what he did.
Yeah, if praise of your team or your coach is rat poison, what McDermott did last night was chew on a cyanide capsule, because he's going to find out about it in 19 days. I already will pick the Patriots to win that game, barring some dramatic developments between now and then.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.